Well, it is a pleasure to introduce Miguel Angél Barquet. When I first moved to San Miguel 9 years ago, the Biblioteca really was the hub. It was the place that many of my friends went to every Friday. We'd go there to the coffee shop, we'd get a coffee and something to eat, and we'd meet there and we'd read the Atención and we'd plan our social calendar. Sometimes there would be big book sales there. We'd go through the gift shop. We'd sometimes attend shows. The bottom line is, in that really large historic building, there are so many wonderful things to do, and that has to be a challenge even for a very seasoned administrator like Miguel Angél. He specialized in business administration in England. He has over 35 years of managerial experience, and he does head up the team. There is a board of directors with the Biblioteca, but he's going to tell us a lot more about, maybe I'll learn a lot more about how things have changed in the 9 years since I've been here and what plans you have, Miguel. So I'll turn it over to you, and we're looking forward to it.
Oh, thank you very much, Chris. It's really my pleasure to be here with you. This is a huge group, and I have to recognize that always when we see any Rotary Club in anywhere, we want to be part of it. It's a very important organization, and I really appreciate your invitation today to talk about some about the library, the Biblioteca, as we said it, as we call it normally. But I am sure that many of you that are living here in San Miguel maybe know better the library in many ways than me, probably, because I have 1 year here in San Miguel. I have been there here in San Miguel many times before, but I know there's a large history of many of you living here in San Miguel, and probably will help me in some way to review some of the things that have done and have happened here in this building that have a very nice and very large history. I will start with some information which is very simple about a little bit about the history of the library in terms of what has happened here in the past, because it's very interesting to know the history of this place, because after 65 years of this starting of a library, have happened a lot of things here that are really interesting. And I will tell you a very short history about it, and I am here. You will have probably some other information. You are totally free to comment or ask or whatever you want during this presentation. And then we are going to talk about some of the issues that are happening here at this moment, and what is happening during this difficult year and the last one, which, as you all know, the things have been changed, and it's a real challenge for everybody to make the things happen different, and we have to be really creative in many ways. So here we are going to start with this information I would like to share with you. You know, the library has, as I said, has been a prosperous cultural and educational center for many years, about 65 years. And we really thank for all the people that have support in many ways this building to have all the services, programs, and all the cultural activities and educational activities during many years. I know that I'm sure that many of you here in this meeting today have contribute or collaborate in some way to make this building be what it is. So I really thank you all what you have done so far to make this happen. And as a short reminding of what has happened here, I can tell you just that the history a little bit from 1734, when this building was originally a home for poor women, and was a center where thanks to the father Jose Hipólito de Aguado, part of the priest from the Oratory Church, founded this home for women at that time. I'm not going back more than that when the building was originally built, many 2 centuries before. But we are going to take this information from here just to have an idea of what happened during this last, let's say, about 300 years. So was a building where the women abandoned by families or husbands or widows were living here. And in 1743, this is the kind of information that is really interesting. The great grandmother of Allende, this is information I found, that who was Doña María de Retis. She donated 100 pesos. She donated 100 pesos to the women's home. And this was an initiative that started to have a better services and better facilities for these people. And through many years, a large number of women live in these homes. So some married, others became nuns, and others spent their entire lives here, there in the building. And by 1872, this home was expropriated for the government, and the women were expelled from there. The building was left in ruins and later became the trail. For many years was a trail there, and was really a place where was a little bit abandoned in some way. But finally, in 1954, the library began to function in a private home. That private home was the Helen McGregor Wale home. She was our really founder at that time. And she was working with very close with 3 original voluntary librarians, Gloria Graham, and Mary Marlin, and Tony de Ferez. At that time, this woman was a very, very encouraged woman that was trying to make the things better as she arrived here in San Miguel. And she grew originally in New England, but she was born in Canada, and she later moved to New York, Washington, Chicago, where she had his family. But in some moment, she arrived in San Miguel about 1954, and she opened the library for children, but at home, inviting young Mexicans to her home. Many of you know the Hospicio Street here in San Miguel. And she was enjoying the large collection of magazines with them. Some years later, the people start to assist to these sessions with her and helping to translate from English into Spanish all the magazines and all the information she wanted to share with the students, and started the donation of books. And that was very successful until, this group of people that was working very hard, helping the youth people and the children, asked to the government at that moment to have a new space. And they decided to give her this building in Insurgentes Street, where we are located now. And previously, that was part of the this home for women and part of the school of the girls that was called Santana. And several events were.
It's still not coming.
Sorry. So that's what the starting. But I don't want to. I want just to give you this whole information, and you have read some of in the invitation, because it's very important to see how, because the initiative of a very small group of people during many years, this library have offered many programs, many cultural diffusion, many education for many children, youth people, and adult people too. So it's where we can see if that somebody that wants to help each others can do that sometimes with a simple actions like reading some tales or some books for the people. And that was how we initiate. So then after that, we could have many developments here inside. And at the moment, the library has been very successful in many of the options that we have. Oh, sorry, let me. Here in this slide, you can see that during the years, many of the administrations have developed different options for everybody. What is important to say here is that the library has been considered a place where everybody can be here. It doesn't matter ages or nationalities or origin or whatever. There's has been a place where any of the activities for everybody can be developed. So we have a children's room where we have a lot of books and activities for children in this area. Then we have a Spanish room. We have the English room with a total of about volumes here in the library for approximately 60,000 books. Is considered one of the largest libraries in Latin America, I can tell you. So all these books have been donated for different people from everywhere, mainly, obviously, here, many of them here in San Miguel, but in the area, in the state of Guanajuato, and from Mexico, and from other countries even. So we have all these installations. That's how they start, mainly with the library. Then was developed the idea to have a store and other activities that could help the library to support some of the expenses. At that time, let me tell you that this building was a gift from the government, no rent, there was no obligation to do that because it was totally considered as a community place at a time, and that was very, very good. During the years was developed another activities. We start to have the Atención newspaper and many in 1975, the newspaper was started, and then we have a complement of Que Pasa, where you could find what to do, what other activities what's happening in all around San Miguel. And let me tell you, this publication was converted in the main way of communication and information, and not as a newspaper with the notice, the daily news about what other newspapers had, information of general activities of politicians or activities and in traffic, transit, etc. This Attention newspaper is more dedicated with another cultural content too. In this newspaper, we have a lot of articles related with the artists' lives and the diffusion and what is happening in terms of the art and culture in San Miguel, with another obvious news, the daily news that are maybe of the interest of many people. And then to have more support, previous administrations created what we call the House and Garden Tour. Many of you maybe have been in this House and Garden Tour sometime, where the idea is to know the best houses in San Miguel through a tour where the people have the chance to receive an explanation of all those houses, where they were built, and how the people are keeping and decorating and remodeling all these houses in a very beautiful way. Maybe some of you have been part of this volunteer activity where the people offer the visitors and foreign people have a tour in their own house in these beautiful houses. And the Attention newspaper, together with the House and Garden and other activities like the cafe and the theater that was created later, start to have a better organization to support the main activities. But here is where I have to say that the purpose of the library itself, the main purpose is to generate activities that could contribute with the education and with the diffusion of the culture and arts in the community. And here is very important to differentiate what are the commercial activities that the library had since many years ago to support the activities that had to be for the community. This is very important because sometimes I heard about a year ago, I arrived here, that many people were saying, oh, this is the place for the gringos. And I disagree totally about that. This is a place, I think, for everybody. So we have the installations to have all kinds of activities for all kind of people in the community. Some of them have more resources, some of them not. So we have to be aware always in having activities for everybody. So that's the idea. And in some way, in 1975, for example, when the newspaper was published, at the same time, there was a lot of activities related to take books from here from the library to the outside areas of the community, to share with the poor people in some other areas the possible activity to have a better and to have the knowledge, to have the education. And in a moment, about 350 rural schools were benefited with the books that we have here. Because sometimes we receive books of donations, and we decide, depending of the kind of books that they are, or if we have repetitions, for example, we share these books with another libraries, whether here in San Miguel or another cities in Mexico. So with the years, this building has been a very successful community center. In 1993, the area where that grew better were the theater and the Cafe Santana. And in that area of where the teatro and the Santa and the cafe are located, there was another family in the past. It was property of the Familia Briones. And then when the last of the family died, the government added this property to the contract of the library, and adding the Sala Quetzal, which is another small room that you are looking at in this photograph, where we could have, we have their book presentations, we have small concerts, guitar or piano, and we have a very large collections of Latin American studies there in that area or close to that area. And was the time where the library was growing very fast. The structure of our organization is something very common, as you can see, where we have an assembly. This moment is formed for about 15 people. Then we have the board, and which is led by a president. At this moment is Debra Broussard, our new president, just for 3 months ago was taking position. The previous was Alisa Rifi. Maybe some of you know him very well. And I have then a team where we are formed by this organization, where we have a treasurer, part of a board too. But then I have an administration and financial area, the library itself with all the operations, and an area where we have the funds led by Marie Moebius. We have a human resources area and information technology area as part of the operation in general, and the social enterprises that we have are the newspaper, the cafe, the theater, and the shop. In the area of the human resources is not here appearing, but we have many programs that are inside some of these areas. For example, the scholarships, which are led by Alma Cervantes, who is here in this meeting with us. I really appreciate and thank you, Alma, for all the great job you are doing for leading this coordination of a scholarship for students. At this moment, we have around 100 students benefited with becas, the scholarships that we have. And it's really a great challenge to make these scholarships grow in many ways. Probably I will ask a little bit later to Alma to say to you in a very few map what are we doing with the scholarship, because in the words of her will be great to hear what we are doing there. And then I will show you the people that is forming the board at this moment. As I said, it's Debra Broussard as president, and we have Carmen Rioja, which is a very successful writer here in San Miguel and has been in many other organizations too, and now is helping us. Gerardo Espinosa as a treasurer, with assistant Robert Rimac in that area. Jennifer Posner, Stephanie Bubella, and Sally Avigdor as secretary and vocals at this moment. This is the board we have now. And I have to say that I'm really proud to be part of this team, because normally it's not easy to find a board that is really committed with the purposes and the mission of an organization. I can say now that I am lucky, because this team is really helping and supporting all the time for the purposes And more than ever during these days where the situation of the pandemic and the economical situation has been really not easy. And at this moment, I can say to you that the main issues that has been difficult are two of them. One is the pandemic. Obviously, you know, all the last year we had to stop all activities in March, and has been many other regulatory changes in the Mexican laws during this year. In general terms, I can tell you that the library until March of the last year had about 40 different workshops or courses or sessions for all people, say children or youth people or adults in different ways. And about 30 or 40 activities during the week in different hours. Since, for example, Spanish classes, English classes, painting classes, piano classes, the choir, guitar classes, yoga classes, manual activities for adult people, for children to well, was here you could see in the past many people going around and having different classes in different hours, or just people that would like they like to come here to the patio, making the homework or reading a book, or as Chris was saying, maybe in the cafe, checking what is going on this week in San Miguel, or what is going to happen in the theater, what is the next concert, etc. And now, the situation is quite different. We have to reorganize again many of the activities, the areas, and we are in this moment reviewing what is going to happen with all the activities that we had in the past, and we are choosing exactly what is better to start with. We have started some activities, but we have to start more once the schools start with the classes, because we don't have the permission at this moment to do that, for example. So it's not an easy moment, and we have to be very smart and clever for define exactly during this all these months and weeks what is really going to happen in the future. But here I would like to show you some of our documents that are supporting our philosophy and our mission. We think that the access to the knowledge is the key to build an integrated and prosperous and vibrant community. So we are really working very hard, having in mind that the knowledge is the best we can approach to the people, and all kind of knowledge in many ways. Could be in science, could be in arts, could be in spiritual issues, could be in anything that the people can have in mind or have in their hands to be to have a better life, to have a very good happiness with their families. So the Biblioteca is committed to keep a safe and inclusive center with meeting all the as much as we can demands for education, skills, and training, and cultural enrichment and entertainment for the entire community. As you know, we cannot do everything. We cannot make all kind of activities in education, etc. But we are talking with many people that is working in, for example, in San Miguel, in the universities, many of the teachers, university directors, to find what is better for them, that we could what kind of activities or specific subjects where we can contribute with them to have a more complete education and opportunities for the people and for the students and adult people even. We are having activities in 3 axes, I could say. And here is one of them, the arts and culture is where we are pushing a lot of information. Well, at this point, I would like to answer you if you have any comment or questions. Some of you, I know perfectly, maybe you know the library, and maybe you would like to make some comment or question or whatever. Somebody wants to do that now?
I'm watching the chat board. If anybody wants to write their question in chat, I will be sure and read them out. So far, nothing, just general thank yous.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, Martin, I could ask you a question. I think you mentioned it early on. This is Tom Schneider from Rotarian. People think of the Biblioteca as a gringo library. And, you know, there is a, you know, another Biblioteca that's kind of on up in Sorrentes around the corner that they call the Biblioteca Publica. But I think the challenge is in San Miguel, is it a gringo activity or is it a, you know, is a Mexican activity? And bridging that, you know, from my work with the peace groups and trying to get it be inclusive for both communities, it's a delicate line to walk. What do you think that the best way is to bridge that, or to have more people from the little? I mean, I was working with a guy who was the Braille, who did the Braille on the San Miguel Peace Pole down there in Parque Juarez, and he was there. He had never thought about going over to the larger. I mean, how many Spanish books compared to English books, or how do you think we could make that bridge better?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and thank you for asking. You're right in the sense that we have more English books than Spanish books. I could say that maybe 2/3 of the total library, or the total books we have, 2/3 approximately are in English. The others are in Spanish. And how to close that gap? How we can do that? I think, and that's our challenge during the following activities, is that first of all, we have to improve our Spanish library, our Spanish books. We have to update many of the collections we have. We have to have more Spanish books with earliest or newest editions, and what the students really need. That's where we are communicating with the universities and asking them what is better at this moment, because many of the universities, once the students come to the library, they are trying to encourage the students not to use only the computer and the cellular phone. So they want to help us for the students come here and make it and the investigation directly in the books, and having available that editions or subjects that they need. That's part of it. The other part have to do with we are trying to attract more Mexican people from the community to be volunteers too. Because in the past, it's very common for the community that the volunteer people is only people that came from another countries and is now retired here in San Miguel, for example. And we know that is very good and is very helpful to have that support and that people helping in many ways. But at the same time, we know that we have to increase the volunteer team with local people and make them participate with us in the same activities that all the rest are doing. And the third issue is to promote activities where the people in the community have the chance to participate with an offer that we could have in many of the events with lowest cost, and make them participate to the same access, having the same access to the culture and knowledge, but with the benefit of for not to have to pay high fees. In general terms, I could say that the obligation internally is to have activities that promote the education and culture for free for everybody, including the community itself, the people is living here and are Mexicans or not. So the idea is to do that, but at the same time, we know that we have to make some activities that will have a fee because we have to recuperate many of the expenses. So answering your question, the idea is to broke that bridge in terms that this is a place where everybody could take advantage of the workshops, the classes, the facilities by themselves, etc. So that's the idea. And as you can see here in some of the comments of the slide, we're trying to offer all kind of classes in arts and crafts, or could be in music, could be in painting, sculpture, etc. As you can see in the past, it's not happening now, but around 400 people was the average we had in workshops and classes every year with different type of classes. We have the other part of entertainment with the concerts and plays and films and at a very reasonable cost in Teatro Santana, Sala Quetzal, and the Café. Maybe you have seen sometime the choir of the library performing in some plays, and they are really a very nice choir, very good team. We are trying to invite more and more children and adult people to create a bigger choir for the library. And we have here the art school, Stirling Dickinson, that was really initiated for a couple, which has been very, very good teachers and donors in many ways of this school, which are Rick Bronson and Liz, his wife. They have been working for many years here in the library, making very good students in painting or sculpturing, including some of them that have decided to continue with the degree of arts in many cases. And in the other area of we have, and the other axis I mentioned is the education and training in many other activities. And in this area is where we have included the possibility to help students with the scholarships. And here we have the English classes, the Spanish classes, the computer classes, Club of Science, mathematics. And at this moment, we are in some negotiations to have some activities with junior achievement, which is, I'm sure many of you have have heard or participating maybe in this organization, which is called Junior Achievement. They are really interested to help the library to have virtual sessions with the students that we could attract from our base of members of here in the library, or the students we are supporting with the scholarships, etc. And I know that many of you have been very helpful on these. Many people from your group of Rotarians, I know really that they have been participating with us in helping these students to have a better scholarship, including having computers in some cases, etc. So this is part of the activities. And Alma, I would like to ask you if you could have just a 3 minutes summary of what you're doing in the scholarships area.
Thank you, Miguel. I took some notes as you were speaking. Let me first say that I've been the coordinator as of January 2020, and I was very inspired by the direction that the library was going. I was especially inspired by all of the updating of work and the team that I was going to be working with. And so when I joined, I had to hit the ground running. I saw the need for the Becca's program to match the level of transparency and organization that it was already building. The Becca's program offers 2 scholarships, high school or university level. Those are called the normal becas for now. It's not a very creative, inspiring name, but it's Beca Normal. And those are $4,400 annual for high school students, $8,800 for university students. They are divided in 2 semester payments, February and August. This last year, we just worked out an opportunity for students to open a no deduction fees account. So university students are now receiving their scholarships as transfers. Additionally, in the older days, we would give out paper applications and we would get paper applications back, and some penmanship was better than others. We eliminated that, and now they are all digital. Students who want to apply can download their applications and fill them out on their phone or on their laptop, whatever digital device they have. We were very proud to share this year, or to record, what we call the Becca Plus scholarships. These are scholarships given to exceptional community service projects. And those were recorded, and we can make those available to you. A kind of Biblioteca TED Talk. And those students are given a coach/mentor that helps them to prepare for this big day, where their presentation this year in the Santa Ana Theater is made and recorded. We hope that those will be public with an audience sometime in the near future, once we recover from the COVID restrictions. Mentors for students. Currently, we're still piloting mentors for students who find themselves in probation. Probation means they have fallen below the 8.5 GPA. And so we go intervene, get them a coach, if necessary, a tutor. We do not want to lose them. And this last year, this mentor pilot rescued of 4 students who were in probation, very related to the COVID situation. And 3 of the 4 were able to surpass that and continue as scholars in good standing. The second mentor program is for the Becca Plus, and I mentioned that they function also as coaches, making sure that they are prepared for their big presentation and just giving them a lot of boost in their confidence. Although the Becca Plus students are already top students, there's always room for them to build their public speaking skills. This last year, 2020 into 2021, we maintained a 95% retention rate of students. And that's a big quickie, a quick on how our Becca's programs are going. Any questions?
Okay.
Oh, I should highlight the success of the laptop program. Many bumps that we had to overcome, but we identified students that up to this day will write to me and say, you know, I don't know how I would have gotten through my accounting classes. I did not have a laptop, and there was no way I would have been able to do this on a cell phone. And those are the rewards we get for giving something a try, even though it seems inaccessible.
All right, very good.
Thank you very
Alma?
much, Alma. And I really want to thank the Rotary Midday to the contribution to provide these 20 computers, and Susan O'Neill, who was leading this activity. Thank you very much, Susan, and thank you all of you, because this was really a very nice gift for the students, and we are following each of them to see how they are using the equipment, how they are having a better advantage of it, in order for not to waste this effort that I really appreciate. Thank you very much, all of you.
If I could just say
I had a
one
question.
more thing. Okay, yes.
Do you have, doesn't the library have a new, like chairman of the board, a woman from Texas?
That's Debra Broussard.
It's Debra Broussard.
Deborah.
Deborah,
How
Deborah
are you-
Broussard.
How are you working with her on the scholarships?
Well, she's really helping and supporting all the efforts for the scholarships. It's one of our main programs that we want to really reinforce at this moment, and she's always willing to help on this and whatever we need. And together with the Alma's work is really one of our main programs, and we are using this in many ways, this program together with Mari Moebius, which is our fundraiser, working in many ways to get the support on this.
Yeah. If I could quickly add from the scholarship point of view, Deborah, I have seen it pays attention to detail. When I first started and up to this day, she always says, what can I do to support you? What do you need? And that kind of leadership, it's very rare, and I'm very grateful for it, because a lot of the success behind the development of the Becca's program, the scholarship program, is because of that kind of support from the board.
Well, I'm appreciative of everybody who offered something today. We are out of time, and I just want to thank all of you for being here and bringing your questions, and especially you, Miguel Angél, for giving us the history. We look forward to seeing how the Biblioteca will play out in the next year. I'm sure we'll see some changes.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for the time you dedicate to us. And I will appreciate if you can come whenever you want to the library and help us in a way you want. We need volunteers. We need a lot of money. And
We need volunteers.
your help in
Yes.
many ways. I know many of you are experts in some areas and maybe could help us in many ways. So thank you very much for having us here, and see you next time.
You bet, Miguel. We appreciate you being here today. And by the way, for those of you that haven't had an opportunity, I did. They have made some remarkable improvements to the Teatro Santa Ana. Is that Teatro Santa Ana? It's remarkable. There's a lot of state-of-the-art equipment in there, and it's just a fabulous place. And I look forward to seeing some excellent productions there. You guys have done a real nice job with that. Real nice.
Thank you very much. I could say no pretensions is the best theater at the moment here in San Miguel. So follow us in our sites, please, and the events, and we will. I'd be glad to receive you here.
Any
big productions coming up that we need to know about?
Yeah, we will. We will have during the next following days in June. We will have new performances in jazz concert. We will have a play from Christian Baumgartner and other activities that we are planning at this moment in June.
All right, Miguel, thank you. And to show our appreciation, Miguel, look what we have for you. Suitable for free. We'll email it to you. The Rotary Midday Club of Allende presents this certificate of appreciation to Miguel for his presentation to our club today. A donation of 10 polio immunizations will be made in your honor to the End Polio Now campaign. So thank you, and we'll email this to you. Okay.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. All
right. Very good. And everybody, I want to thank you for joining us today. For those of you that are in the States, enjoy the Memorial Day weekend next weekend. Our next meeting is going to be June the 1st, I believe, Tuesday, June 1st, which will be a club assembly. More on that forthcoming. In the meantime, have a good week. This meeting is adjourned.